Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Saturday.
Good morning.
Good to hear your wonderful voice.
Yes.
Oh, goodness. All right, let me move this curtain because it's okay. Let's see. Let me figure out how to fix this. There we go. Okay. All right. Well, so just so you know, Irma, yesterday I was talking about you. I had one of your pictures up in our VIP Connect group. So I was telling everyone what an incredible job you've done in Fit and Focused, and now you're a part of the Purple Life community. So anyway, everybody they were inspired by your story and your progress. So hooray, you're influencing people.
Oh, good. It's good to be a good influencer.
Right. That's right.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, I was contemplating, should I jump on this call? Because I got out of town guests coming. And but I said I'll give it 5 minutes.
good. We won't take too terribly long today. We're on day 27. I see Anne is trying to jump on right now on her audio, but we are already at day 27 of the 30-day. It's just flown by for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's a question. So we do have our next phase coming up super quickly. As a matter of fact, so today's day 27, tomorrow will be 28. Monday will be day 29. So we can actually just flow right into, I'm gonna have it be the 60-day, just because I need my body to really slow down and accept the changes that I've made to it.
Okay.
So you always have a choice on what you're going to do. So what do you think you are going to do? Are you going to do another 30-day, or are you going to go back to the 60-day?
I think I'm going to go back to the 60-day because I do miss, I missed one of the phases. I think it's fat freeze, or sustain your win.
Sustain your wins. Yeah. With sustain your wins, I mean, it actually is better for you for more permanent stabilization. I mean, I know that phase seems to drag on a bit, but it's necessary to make everything stick. So, and I noticed with the 30-day, when we have the off plan day, and it takes longer to get things back on track. So that's another reason why I want to get in the 60-day to actually do what we say, and that's sustain our wins.
Right.
All right. Well, so we are going to go ahead and check in this morning. Hello, Catherine and Anne. Good to see all you. And it was fun to be with you yesterday. You guys, I had to tell you, Anne came to the VIP Center yesterday. We did a photo shoot so I could get started on her website. And man, her pictures just turned out super gorgeous. And I can't wait to, to show her the finished product. But yeah, anyway, so hooray. And she looked good, and she just looked super sharp. Look at Anne. All right. So let's go ahead and check in, and let's check in from a sense of, first of all, how are you feeling today mentally? So let's take a little bit of time to talk about the emotional and mental pillar. So how are you feeling in terms of that? And also just want you to check in on what's been your progress from the time you actually started Fit and Focus. What has been your overall progress? Okay, so two things we're asking about here, and I would love for you to share. So Irma, I'm going to start with you.
Okay, mental today and all week have been really, really good. Um, and my overall progress, I think, see, I'm not prepared for that question. But I'm gonna say it's about 45 pounds
Oh,
and a lot more inches, and I need to remeasure myself.
okay.
Because I did do that. And because I think I see more in the measurement portion
Mm-hmm.
than say the scale, right? The scale's one thing, but to go from an extra large to a medium, that's different. That's totally different. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
major difference.
yeah.
Each wear different clothes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Either that or
So
hire a seamstress.
exactly. But no, it's easier to go buy new clothes, make you feel better.
Yeah. Yeah, I can totally relate and I love that you're going through that experience. It's just such a good mental boost and emotional boost too. It's we spend a lot of time worrying and being anxious about our bodies and how they look and how we're presenting ourselves. We really put a lot of energy into that, don't we?
Yes, we do.
And so when you're getting to the ideal place of where you want to be, that worry tends to shave off. Now, if we are in a spirit of worry, that worry is going to transfer over to some other area of our lives, usually like finances or which is going to be our focus this month for VIP Center all the way around for VIP Center. But that fear and worry it'll look for another home, another area in your life to move into. So we definitely want to get it out of our food fight. We want to get it out of our, what we're doing with our bodies. So good job, Irma. Yay.
Hey.
And I was thinking, so I misspoke yesterday that when I was doing the VIP Connect, because I told everybody that you had lost around 60 pounds. So I knew it was a big number. I thought it was 60.
Okay, well, good. I'll
Yeah.
take it.
Okay. So now you're going to have to just come through on that.
I know, right?
Yeah.
When I come to the conference in November, maybe maybe.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll
Yeah.
just speak life into that.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
All right.
I don't know what I'm doing with okay, there we go.
All right. So you've dropped 45 pounds. So on the physical aspect, you're doing well. And did I miss it, or did you say anything about the emotional and mental?
I didn't. So, well, I said mental, good. Physical, I am really kind of working right now. I still have some pain in my left leg, so I am physically working with the physical therapist and a chiropractor so that I don't have to go to pain management and get shots. I hate shots. They don't do anything.
Right.
So, and emotional, I'm great. So all's well. But yeah, physically, I am really, really working hard to because I like walking, and in spite of the pain, I still manage to do about two miles or more a day. So, but like I told the physical therapist, usually about 1.5 miles, I am praying to God to get back to the house.
I was like, oh Lord. Yeah.
I was like, don't make me call someone to pick me up. Let me limp it.
I love that I mean, you're really pushing the envelope though. You're really just trying to expand and exercise it. And so um I love that kind of grit that you are demonstrating in your life. Good
Yeah.
job. All right. So Anne, how about you?
Good morning, everybody.
Hi.
Um, well, let's see. Emotional and physical, I'm doing great. I'm proud of myself, and I feel like I know, what my plan is for Thanksgiving and after Thanksgiving, so I don't blow it. So I feel really good there. Um, and uh, let's see, I think my goal was 15 pounds, and I've lost in the 60 days 22 pounds.
Oh,
Wow.
So if I get any thinner, you might not see me sideways.
That is true. And I have to tell you, I mean, and I definitely noticed yesterday that I mean, you're super thin. So you are
Yeah.
probably just need to be, just continuing to eat healthy, but, just maintaining, right? Just,
Right. Yeah. And sometimes that can be hard. Because as you all know, with the cheat days, I'm kind of like all or nothing. Um,
right.
so Thanksgiving will probably be 5,000 calories in one day. But I wanted to tell Irma, I just started this, it's called Life Wave. It's a stem cell therapy patch. And I have a Tor rotator cuff, and it really hurts like after Pilates and things like that. So I've only tried it for about 7 days, but I put a patch there, and it takes, the pain isn't totally gone, but it takes the edge off. I'm not standing there like this in Pilates all day. So anyhow, I'll, when I see you in November, I'll share some of that with you. Might help.
All right. Thank you, Anne. So Catherine, hello, my friend.
good morning. Good morning. Yeah, I would say weight wise, I am maintaining, so I'm happy about that. Because I cannot gain anything leading up to the wedding, so I'm pretty focused on that, so I'm grateful. I don't always get my meals in, I will say that, so that's probably not, I know that's not a good thing, but it's just this past month specifically, it's just kind of been, people in and out of the house and just a lot of distraction and hosting. So that's been challenging, but that's why I'm grateful I'm maintaining anyway. I mean, I fluctuate just a little bit here and there, but anyway, I would say overall that's going well. Mentally, it's been a little tough. Emotionally, it's been a little tough. Yeah, I'm just trying to push through because each day I just don't know what comes. And
Yeah.
anyway, so I'm just hanging in there. I do find myself worrying about some things, not knowing what's going to happen around wedding time. Is my mom going to be here? What if she passes away the week of the wedding? What do we do? And, I mean, just all these,
Yeah.
but I'm just saying, what I am doing is gathering information and researching certain things and getting options and plans in place if anything should happen. And then I'm just leaving the rest to the Lord.
Yeah.
Because for me, when I feel uncertain, if I can have a plan,
Yeah.
that makes feel a little better, but still just not knowing what's going to happen, right? You just don't
Yeah.
know. So it's kind of all over the place, but that's okay. I mean, we're just taking one day at a time and full speed ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just, just to throw this in there, it's so easy to say, oh, stop worrying, right? I mean, that is like the easiest thing in the world to say, but to actually do it, it really requires you to hunker down and just tell that fear and anxiety to shut up in Jesus' name, right? I mean, and we can find ourselves just caught up in the worry. I mean, I don't know about you all, but I imagine, Catherine, in your mind, everything that you just said, I imagine it's just constantly there. You're right there in the situation where everything is happening. And of course, worry's going to come and just constantly be knocking at your door and say, well, what if it does happen during the wedding? That's going to screw everything up. And then, so we get caught up in a mindset of, oh my gosh, that it generates fear. And so part of managing our emotional and mental pillars is actually through the spiritual pillar. And it's really quite simple. It's about going to the word. The word does not come back unto us void. And so this isn't just for you, Catherine, but this is for all of us. When we have worry and fear, what's the word that counteracts that? I mean, we've been given a huge blessing in the word. We've got the ammunition. So we simply have to just pick it up and use that ammunition. So prayers are with you. And I'm just I'm with you in this, and I just trust that our God is going to make everything work out perfectly in the way that it needs to, so that when it's time for your mom to be with Jesus, it's going to be the perfect time. It's going to be his timing. And the wedding is going to happen in such a way that it's his perfect timing, and the mindset is going to be there so that you can focus on your daughter and just enjoy being full of joy in that. And so I'm standing with you to trade fear and worry for joy and reassurance from the Lord. So we're speaking life into that over you.
Amen. Amen. And I will say, Angie, and thank you for that, because that sounds perfect. But yesterday, I will say I was struggling quite a bit. And honestly, just to be on the VIP Connect call, I mean, I didn't really participate, I just listened, but I mean, that's, just to be able to jump on and have that connection with everyone was very helpful, and I appreciate being able to do that. So, and on those days, if I'm struggling and I just feel like I can't say anything, I just have to be there, then I appreciate that support. You know what I mean? So that helped turn my day around a little bit. So
community it's critical, and it's especially in times like this. It's when we need it. We had 15 or 16 ladies on yesterday, and it really does matter. When we come together and we listen to each other. I mean, we've got 60 or 70 ladies that are missing out on that, and they're out there striving and going crazy. And there's a place where they can come. There's a refuge that they can come. So I'm glad that you're taking advantage of that, and you're exactly the reason why we do things like this, because we do need each other to lift each other up.
absolutely. Thank you.
All right. So Pam, what's up, Ladybug?
Lots of things. I worked through a lot this week of having a lot of obstacles in a lot of ways, and a lot of things. But I will say to Irma, I do use and have used the LifeWave patch. It's been a very big help. It is a big alternative to our medicine. I'm having to do the medicine now because I ran out of the patch. I was just on it for 2 weeks. It's been a help. Anyway, so, and spot on, and ditto what everything you said. And I believe God uses that too. Okay, so I have been fluctuating, but you talking about this cycle, this month? Is that what you're talking about? Are we talking about the
Yeah.
2 month? I don't,
I'm talking about in your overall journey.
oh, my overall journal. Well, I will say at one time, when I did it the first time, I lost 60 pounds, in that first, something's in my way. In the first journey, it was 60, I got 60 pounds down. This
Mhm.
journey right now in the last month or 2 months or whatever we've been to, see, I can't even keep track of what day it is as far as what day are we on?
We're on
I'm
day
just,
27 of the 30-day cycle.
okay, so I'm doing it, but I don't know what day it is.
Yeah.
Um,
Actually, that's almost a good thing. And I
yeah,
see that because you're making it a part of your life.
it doesn't matter what day it is.
Yeah.
So just I guess I can say the last 30 days or whatever, I'm down 7 pounds, and I'm just, I'm happy. I'm not content with that.
But you're making progress.
Making progress. I'm
Yeah.
making progress, and it's harder this time.
Yeah.
It's just harder. It's different this time. It's different. I'm not gonna make an excuse. It's just different this time.
Mhm.
I was telling my sister yesterday after I saw the radiation doctor, because I said to the radiation doctor, well, how will you know how my treatment went? And he goes, when you have your mammogram. And I have my mammogram in February on the 8th. It's like, really? Okay. Well, I didn't say this to him, but because he was running behind, which he's never ran behind before.
Mhm.
And so I talked to the nurses and I said, so Dr. Anthony said that the way I'll know I'm better is that I have my mammogram, and that's how we'll know I'm better. And I said, people often ask me, how are you doing? And I'm saying, well, I think I'm doing fine. I think I'm doing good.
Yeah.
What's the proof here? And the nurses both said to me, just tell him you're doing good.
Yeah.
Because you're right. You're doing good. And I said, I believe I'm well. I believe it's not coming back.
Right.
I'm standing on God's word that it will not return. There's a scripture
Right.
in the Bible. I can't tell you where it's at right this minute, but I found it at some point in my prayer time that he would not have it return. It doesn't return.
Right.
And they both looked at each other. It was like, yeah, you got it. That's what you do. You just tell him you're fine.
Well, the truth is that God's word does not return unto him void. And
Mhm.
so he tells us, I mean, you can look in Matthew chapter 7, starting at verse 7, and Jesus asked, ask for what you want. What is it? And this is me
Yeah.
truncating it, but what is it that you want? And when you ask me for that, I'm going to give it to you. And so it's really about us. It's not his will that we should be sickly, and that, we're here for a mission, and you have a mission that you're facing. There's a calling on your life. As a matter of fact, I believe that every single woman who is a part of the VIP Center, there is a calling on your life, and that's why you face some of the struggles that you face.
Mhm.
But you belong to God, and your body is the temple of the Lord. I mean, I can speak things over you all day long. Your body is the temple of the Lord, and therefore you're going to glorify him in body and spirit, and so cancer has no place in your body. It
Right.
has, if it thinks it's going to hang out there, it has to leave in Jesus' name.
Yeah. So I keep thinking, Angie, that I'm gonna get on the prayer times, and every time there's a prayer time, something happens. I mean, honestly, it's like, I feel like, I've got that time, I've got it in my phone, and then something comes along. I'm in the car, I'm, half hour before things are good. And then I'm like, he doesn't want me to get to prayer time.
Well, go ahead and turn it on 30 minutes early because sometimes I'm on there early.
Well, I'll try that. I mean,
Okay.
I'm try that because, and then the other thing, if I could have like a template of like when everything happens, because I put things in a written calendar as well.
Mm-hmm.
Have my calendar on my phone. And I guess everything gets prompted into I think because I don't, in my head, I haven't like noon it. I don't have those things. Normally I would
Mhm.
know exactly where the times are at.
Yeah, I hear
I
you.
have it in my head yet.
Okay. I can
And
help you with that. I'll get Cart to actually put it together and we can send that out.
yeah. And I'm having a mom day today. We're going to go to the garden at the zoo.
All right.
We rented a wheelchair and we're buying a wheelchair, but we rented a wheelchair a couple weeks ago. And I said, I want to go somewhere with mom. I want to be able to do.
Okay, so thank you, ladies, for sharing your progress. I want to show you, I was getting this visual. Um, let's see, mental clarity, energy. So with everything that we've been doing, these are things that we tend to focus um, on the surface. And one reason why I was asking about, how has your journey been? Your journey could very well look like this, right? You made lots of progress, steady progress, and then suddenly you dipped, and then and now you're trying to find your way up, so you've basically, since you've been a part of the Fit and Focus coaching program, you have a journey, and it's however it looks. And notice here, like on the top side of this journey, you've been trying to achieve some very tangible, natural goals. Like, we do have a focus on, dropping those pounds that just get in the way and interfere with our confidence of our bodies and our comfortableness with our bodies. That mental clarity, this is a big one for me. I have to have mental clearness because I'm a business owner and there's lots of moving parts. And so, that's one of the motivators for me to keep going. And then just eating in a way that we have energy. So, I mean, these are three main things that we have historically focused on. But I want to draw attention to the fact that we've also been doing the inside work, the deeper work that really influences what manifests here. So down here, like, just to give you an example, we have been working on emotional triggers. We've been using a formula to look at those emotional triggers, and that formula includes noticing instead of reacting, and then reconciling what we are seeing, and then planning for the next time, right? So this is some of the deeper work that we've been doing. And as you can see, this is below the surface. This is the stuff that happens up here, but it's also all of this happening way down deep inside. It's fertilizing and influencing what happens up here, right? So, I mean, even if you look at it kind of like a plant, this is the soil, right? We're feeding whatever's down here working is feeding into this result. What's amazing is when we go through this experience, most ladies, you come in and you try to start at the surface and go down, right? But really, this is the true view of what we're having to work on. If we're not working on these things, then whatever we're doing up here is going to be temporary. It's going to fade away. It's going to wither away. You know, we're not going to be providing the kind of soil that, you know, the fruit that we're producing is, you know, we're not going to be providing the right kind of soil. You see, people can drop pounds all day long. That's why we have the Weight Watchers, Jenny Craig, all these different programs where people are dropping weight, but then they get to their goal and then they fade off, and it's because there's no substance in the ground. So this actually is the harder work that we're having to do right now, so that we can have more permanent results and more permanent routines that we create, where we're not, you know, going backwards, which is one of our newest mantras, really. You know, don't go back, or don't look back. And that's definitely been working with me. But just to share with you and be real with you, I've been working on this myself. I can do great with it in my work setting, but when I get home and my husband pushes a button, it's like there's this automatic picture I get in my mindset where I just want to, I want to do a throat punch, right? when I say he's pushing my buttons, but you know, he'll do things that I'm like, I would never do that, right? Or I would never say that, or I would never treat you that way. And I have to be mindful that, you know, he's just being himself. I'm the one who decides what's going to be triggered for me. And we have the power to manage those emotional triggers. It's a workout, though. And I don't want us to lose sight of this here this week, because I mean, 1 week of working on it is not enough. It's not enough. This is something that we have the opportunity to practice every single day. And I want to encourage you to apply this again this week. I don't want you to forget about it. I don't want you to get off this call and then, you know, just go back to everything that you were doing that's getting in your way. I really want you to focus on what is triggering me. What's triggering me? And you know what triggers you, because when it happens, you know it when it happens. There's like this big ball of emotion that just pops up. You want to be defensive. You may even want to come back at somebody, or it may even cause you to withdraw, right? You like, you know, that hurt, I'm withdrawing, I'm never talking to you again, kind of kind of reaction, like, you know, that really sucked. And so I'm not talking, I'm gonna get back at them by not talking to them at all, right? We come up with all of these silly solutions that are really just aggravating the problem even more. And so the very first thing that we need to be doing is, we're experiencing emotional triggers, and we're going to have them every single day. Something's going to trigger us emotionally where we feel fear, or we feel like someone's attacking us, or we're being excluded, or whatever it is. Instead of reacting, we've got to get this first step into place. We've got to, when we're experiencing an emotional trigger, we've got to get in the position, we've got to position ourselves to notice first. I cannot emphasize how important this is. And when I say notice, I'm not saying notice what the other person is doing wrong so that you can make a list of how you're going to come back at him. That's not what I'm talking about at all. Because some of us, like me, our natural response is to just whip something right back at him that's super witty and then just slices them up. So does that require you to be quiet? Yeah, it does. It does. It does. You don't want to go to the extreme of withdrawing. I'm never talking to you again, or I'm going to squash it all down. It's really just pausing and stepping outside of that situation and saying, okay, let me notice what's happening here. What do I notice about what's happening with me right now? What's the emotion that's being triggered in this situation? What do I notice is a nagging bother to me about this situation? What do I notice about how I'm handling myself? If you can't do that, then and learn that first step, then all of this up here, all of this is you're not going to see the fruit. I mean, it will eventually die off, because you may be saying, what does this have to do with Fit and Focused and our food fight? Because we are emotional eaters. We eat, we binge, and 95% of the time it's because of emotional triggers that we do that. And so we have to deal with this. We have to tackle this one step at a time. So noticing instead of reacting. And then the second piece is reconcile what we're saying. Okay, let me just make sense of what's happening here. Let me see. And this is where we bring in the other person. Well, so I notice that he or she is doing this, and it probably because they've had a bad day, or probably because they've had this experience and this is just their natural defense. So it's really just stepping outside of the emotion of it and just making sense of what you're saying. Why is this really happening? And I'm going to tell you that the answer is not because that other person is a stupid idiot. Okay. It's not because that person is a jerk face and a narcissist, although narcissists are horrible at pressing all of your buttons and not having any feelings. But this is about you and you controlling your emotions, not controlling them. It's about just making sense of what's happening and then planning for the next time that this trigger happens, because chances are you've already blown it for this time, but planning ahead, say, well, next time this happens, here's how I'm going to respond. Having that plan in place is going to make all the difference in the world. So I'll give you an example here. So my husband and daughter, they have a very close relationship. Mackenzie is Aaron's only biological daughter, and he's so in love with her. He's just enamored with her. He wants to experience life with her. And, they're going to the Colts game today. I mean, he's super involved in her swimming. I mean, he's more involved than I am. I just go and say, yay, she's winning. I know just enough to be dangerous about her timings and everything. But they have a tendency to want to go off together, right? And I'm a very inclusive person. And I'm like, hey, I want to go. What about me? You're leaving me out. So I have an emotional trigger around that, because when I was growing up, I was always left out of everything, and I always felt very alone. And so that's something that I have to work on. And so I've had to learn how to notice when that emotional trigger pops up for me, that inclusiveness, that that I like to feel in the family, you know, to be a part of the tribe. And so I have to notice that, okay, what's happening right now? What's this emotion that's popping up? What's it doing? And then I have to start reconciling what I'm seeing. And the reality is where the enemy wants to tell me, well, they're leaving you out because you suck as a mother, right? I mean, the enemy's going to come out and say all of these stupid things. To reconcile, I have to say, no, Aaron is not excluding me. He just wants to experience life with his daughter. He wants to create those special moments. And the truth is I'm involved in their lives, and we do a lot of things together. I don't have to be there for every single time. I need to allow them time to their self. So that's reconciling, you know, what I'm seeing. And so then, like, okay, well, I have to plan for the next time. So I know that this is going to happen again where they're going to want to go to the Colts game together, or, you know, whatever. And instead of me being upset, I'm going to say, okay, great. I have time to myself. I've got plenty of things to do, and I'm going to go do blah, blah, blah. Right. So I'm going to take advantage of that time. So I'm telling you all of that just as a real example of how to think through this. And this is an important piece of what we do, because if we can't work through this, we're going to start allowing more inner critics to come in. We're going to allow the enemy to come in and jack with our thoughts. And the chances are we're going to try to take that out on food. All right, so I want to open it up for any thoughts. How does this apply to you?
I'll go.
Okay.
Angie, I tell you what, this part of the Fit and Focused program has really, really helped me, because what I had found through kind of working all this out for myself is that with food, well, no, with my circumstances, right, in the past, you know, several years or whatever, I had become so stressed and so forth, and I would go to food, right?
Mhm.
And then the food would cause my health to be horrible.
Yeah.
I would have a foggy brain. I would be fatigued and exhausted because I was just eating junk, just rah, 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 you know, trying to get through stress. And it's just, you know, the combination of all of that, the emotional, you know, the food, all of that just turned me into a very reactive person. I mean, I was just always on edge because I was just exhausted, and every little thing set me off because I just can't take it anymore, you know. But by us exploring all of that and you presenting this to us in this program with getting the food on track, right, helps the fogginess, brings back clarity, then we're able to deal with issues like this. And that has been a life changer for me, because I've been able to, like exactly what you're saying, I've been practicing on noticing when those triggers come so I don't react to them, even whether it's, you know, verbally or even by food. I'm able to control that much better. And I mean, that's just been life changing for me. So with you explaining that, I'm like, oh my gosh, that has changed everything for me. So you're right. I've done many programs before, weight loss programs, but with incorporating what you're saying, the emotional triggers and all that, total game changer, life changer. So I appreciate that, and I've really tried to work hard, you know, at changing that for myself, and I feel better.
Yeah.
Physically, I mean, all my pillars are better because of that. So it works, Angie, and thank you, because I'm just glad to have been able to turn all that around and still work on it, of course, daily. But we have the tools, we understand it. I'm more equipped now, but with all my pillars.
Yeah.
to deal with all these things that come our way, you know?
Yeah. Thank you. I love hearing that. And
Yeah.
I mean, we've got answers. We've got something to do with it. So, and when we actually apply it, it really does work. These are things that I apply in my own life. I almost feel like God called me to come here and be experimented upon so that I could teach others from from all of my situations that I've had to go through. And so I've gotten to the place now, Lord, am I going through this pain right now for someone else?
Thanks for taking it for the team, Angie. Thank you.
All right. Someone else want to have something you want to share?
I was just going to echo what Catherine says. I think for me, I know for me, it's been recognizing within myself the emotional triggers. And so I echo those sentiments because I too have been on a lot of weight loss programs. However, none of them really deal with the inner person, right? And this helps us to deal with the inner person, with the iceberg that's hidden. So I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Good. Yes.
All right. Anyone else want to share?
You just make us look at what we don't want to look at, Angie.
Well, it's kind of like a wound, right? I mean,
Right.
you gotta, if it's got dirt in it, you gotta open it up, clean it out, so that it can heal properly. And that's really what we're doing here. We're healing properly. We're healing from the hard things that have happened to us, and we're really, I mean, just going along with this whole analogy that we have here, we're really creating the right soil for our growth. We're creating the right conditions underneath it all so that everything above ground can follow suit. And if you don't, I mean, how many of you have you've gone to the garden center, you got some beautiful flowers, you just stuck them in the ground, and then a week later they were dead, right?
Yeah.
Because the soil wasn't prepared properly, right? The conditions were not good for that. And if you don't take care of that, then everything it's going to be, you're not going to get the fruit that you want, or the flowers for that matter. So, ladies, I want to challenge you yet again this week to really put this in play. And you can take a screenshot of this if you want to. I actually did take a screenshot while we were talking. Let me see if I can actually pull that up. Did it?
I did a screenshot of it.
Okay, capture that. Yeah, and I also put it in chat for everybody. I forgot that little feature was there. Yeah, so we're going to keep working on this through the end of next week. So I will not be on Monday because of Labor Day. Next Saturday, I'm going to be at my son's. I'm still going to do that coaching call. So we're really just going to kind of communicate in Facebook. But when we come together next Saturday, this is what I want us to check in on here. All right. I'll send prompts. I'll send you prompter reminders about starting our new cycle again. So again, we're on day 27. So we've got a few more days to go through this 30-day cycle. And then you have an off plan day, and then we start back with our 60-day cycle. Okay.
I think I have a special event coming up Saturday at lunchtime, and I think that'll be my off day.
Okay.
I'm just gonna say that. And we're gonna go to the 60 days.
Yes.
I am glad to do that. This has been okay.
Yeah. Well, all right. So if we look at the calendar for everybody else, so Thursday, if you're following the 30-day plan, then Thursday is the off day. But and so Friday is actually our first day. Can everybody be okay with next Saturday being our day one? So that we'll start off together. I think that's important for us to kick off together. So you can either have Thursday or Friday. For the rest of you, either Thursday or Friday is an off plan day. Probably Friday's going to be better, but Saturday is going to be our day one.
Okay.
What's the difference between the 30-day and the 60-day?
Well, there are 30 more days.
Oh, yeah.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Okay, so there is a difference. We have 4 phases, and the last phase is sustain your wins, and it's actually broken down into a couple of mini phases. But we gradually get back to incorporating carbs into our diet, but we do it in a very sensible way, because carbs, once you start putting those back in, it's like they're addictive, right? And they cause you to want to crave more sugar and things like that. So we treat them very carefully. And when we get together next Saturday, I'll show you the full cycle of how it works, just so that you know what to expect. It'll be a quick refresh for everybody else, but we'll go through it and get started. I will tell you though, since we're not going to talk until next Saturday, that you can simply prepare we'll be going back to detox. We'll be doing detox for 11 days. So it's what we call our first 11.
Mhm. So it's not much different, Anne. It's just days are different. The added days are different. The space is, it's not, yeah. Those 11 days aren't any different than our first 10 days of the 30.
30-day. Yeah. It's the same.
Gotcha.
Mhm.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. All right, ladies. Well, I'm going to let you go, and I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. And I will see you next Saturday for our day one.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.